Okay, good morning, everyone. I am Wen. Today, we are going to explore one of the most influential theories in instructional design, CTML, the cognitive theory of multimedia learning. We live in an era of information explosion, but when it comes to educational videos, do more fancy effects really mean better learning? Today, through the lens of psychology, we will review exactly how the brain processes information. Okay, now let's look at the learning objectives. For this class, our goals are very clear. Understand the core assumptions of CTML, define. And second one, connect. Clarify its relationship with cognitive load theory, CLT. Identify. Master the 12 core design principles. And fourth one, apply. Finally, learn how to apply these principles to the production of educational videos. Okay, now let's look at the founder of this theory, the Professor Richard Mayer. Sorry, we cannot show the picture of it because of some unknown error. The Professor Richard E. Mayer from UC Center, Barbara. His status in educational psychology is comparable to Newton in physics. His core philosophy is simple yet profound. People learn better from words and pictures than from words alone. And so, what is multimedia? It isn't simply pulling up materials. Look at this formula. Words, auditory on the left plus pictures, visual in the middle are required to produce glory. Deep learning on the right, it is a process of active integration. And what is the core definition? Traditional views hold that learning is passive, like pouring water into a container. However, CTML argues that learning is active. Learners must actively build mental connections between words and images, just like the connection structure shown in this diagram. Yeah, you can have a look. Okay, now let's look at the three core assumptions. The foundation of CTML is built upon three core assumptions regarding human cognitive architecture: dual channels, limited capacity, and active processing. Let's look at the first one, the dual channels. Our brain has two independent information superhighways. One processes visual material and one processes auditory material, as shown here. The eye sees images and the ear hears sounds, two parallel tracks. The second one is the limited capacity, and also is the most critical one. The limited capacity assumption. Look at the funnel in the center. When we pour in too much information, the red particle gets stuck at the bottleneck. Our working memory is very limited. It can only process 5 to 7 chunks of information at a time. Once overloaded, learning stops. Third, the active processing. Learning is not a copy-pasting. It is an SOI process. What is SOI? Means select, organize, and integrate. Select like this hand, selecting relevant information. Organize, like stacking blocks, building a model in the mind. Integrate like gears, meshing, combining new info with prior knowledge from long-term memory. And the second one is cognitive load theory. You can see there is a word overload in this picture shocking. This brings us to cognitive load theory, which is closely linked to CTML. When the demand of teaching exceeds the student's capacity, the vibrating warning you can see, the bottom of these screens occurs, the cognitive overload. And now let's look at the three types of load. Load is divided into three types. Intrinsic load, determined by the difficulty of the knowledge itself, like these complex block structures. And the second one is extraneous load, caused by bad design, such as background noise. This is the distraction we want to eliminate. And the genuine load, the effective effort students use for understanding, represented by these growing ceilings. And the next one is management strategy. As instructional designers, our strategy is manage intrinsic load, minimize extraneous load, and look at the shrinking errors, and thereby maximize genuine load, look at the rising curve. The next one is theory connection. Simply put, CLT poses the problem, the limited capacity, and the CTML provides the solution about the multimedia design principles. Okay, now let's look at the 12 principles overview. The coherence, signal, redundancy, spatial, temporal, segmenting, pre-training, modality, multimedia, personalization, voice, image. So, to achieve this goals, Mayer proposed 12 golden principles. We categorize them into three groups: reducing extremism processing, manage essential processing, and fostering generative processing. Let's look at the first one, coherence principle. Without all relevant background music and decorative images, less is more. Yeah. So we need to focus on our relevant study, the materials of it. And the second one is signaling principle. As demonstrated by this animation, use highlighted arrows or bold text to guide the student's gaze and tell them exactly where to look. The third one is redundancy principle. Okay, don't make students read text on the screen while you are reading the exact same words aloud. This causes a traffic jam in the visual channel. Graphics plus audio is the best combination. The next one is spatial contiguity. Labels shouldn't be far from the image, like the gram on the right. Place text directly next to the corresponding component to reduce the burden of eye scanning. Okay. Now let's look at the next one. Next one is temporal contiguity. Narration and animation must appear simultaneously. There should be no time lag. Okay, pictures and the narration should present at the same time. Yeah. And the next one is the segmenting principle. For long videos, chop them into small chunks like part 1, part 2, part 3, allowing users to press pause and control their own pace. Okay, now let's look at the next one. is about pre-training principle. Before explaining how complex skills work, the process, teaching the students the name of the parts, such as concepts, clear the terminology hurdles first. And the next one is modality principle. This is crucial. When you have complex visuals, use spoken narration instead of on-screen text. This achieves eyes on diagram, ears on voice, perfectly utilizing the dual channels. Next one is multimedia principle. Words and pictures together are always better than drawing text alone. Which is talking about the Mayer. And next one is the personalization principle. Please use a conversational style with you and I, rather than stiff academic language. It brings you closer to the audience. Next one is the voice principle. Try to use a human voice, not a cold, robotic, synthesized the voice. And the last one is the image principle. The instructor's talking head is not always necessary. If eye contact isn't needed, turn it off and let students focus on the content. Okay, now let's look at the educational video. These principles are especially important in educational videos, whether it's a recorded lecture or a micro course. They are all being optimized through design. Okay, now let's look at the types of the video: the lecture, the interactive, the demo, the micro. Now let's look at the optimization process. If you are making a video, please follow this three-step optimization method. Reading. First, cut out all fluff and irrelevant decorations. The signaling. Next, add highlights and arrows to guide attention. And the third one is segmenting. Finally, break long videos into short knowledge clips. Okay, the last slide is about thank you. To summarize, good instructional design isn't about looking good. It's about fitting the way the brain works. I hope everyone can use CTML to make knowledge flow silky smooth through your students' dual channels. Thank you.